Sadness as wisdom, a journey into the inner winter. We often find ourselves wanting to stay in the sunlit rooms of joy. We love the balcony where the view is clear and the air is warm. But a house is not just a balcony. A true home has many rooms, quiet libraries, dim hallways, cellars for storage, and rooms for rest. One of the most misunderstood and avoided rooms in this house is the room of sadness. In our modern, fast-paced society, we are conditioned to view sadness as a failure. We treat it like a crack in the wall or a leak in the roof, something that has gone wrong and needs to be fixed immediately. When someone asks, "How are you?" we feel obligated to say, "I am fine," even when our hearts are heavy. We have created a culture of toxic positivity, where we are afraid that if we stop smiling, we will lose our value. But sadness is not an enemy. It is not a malfunction of the human machine. It is a vital, intelligent, and necessary function of a healthy life. Just as the earth needs rain to nourish the roots of the trees, the human soul needs sadness to deepen its roots and grow. Without the rain, the soil turns to dust. Without sadness, the human heart becomes dry, shallow, and unable to feel true empathy. Today's architecture of the soul is an invitation to stop running from the rain. It is a guide to help you open the door to this uninvited guest, to sit down with it, and to listen to the deep wisdom it has brought you. Today you will hear the voice of your sadness. Part 1. Defining the emotion. What is sadness really? To understand sadness, we must first clear away the confusion. Many people mistake sadness for depression, but they are very different things. Sadness is a living emotion. It is a movement. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It flows like a river. It is a natural reaction to a specific event or realization. Depression, on the other hand, is a state of stagnation. It is like a frozen lake. In depression, you do not feel sad. Often, you feel numb, empty, or hopeless. You lose the ability to imagine a future. It is like a room with no doors and no windows. Sadness is actually a sign of mental health. It is the natural response to loss, change, or disappointment. It is a signal from your body and mind that something important is happening. It shows that you are connected to reality and that your emotional system is working correctly. It shows that you are open to the world and that you care about it. Imagine you are carrying a heavy backpack while climbing a mountain. Sadness is your body saying, "This is heavy. I need to sit down. I need to rest and process this." It is a biological mechanism that slows us down. When we are sad, our energy drops. We become less interested in the outside world and more interested in our inside world. This is not an accident. This slowing down is designed to give us time to heal. Think of your emotions like the seasons. Joy is the summer, energetic, bright, and outward moving. Sadness is the winter. In winter, nature does not die. It retreats. The trees pull their energy down from the leaves into the roots. Everything slows down. Animals hibernate. This looks like nothing is happening, but deep underground, a lot of work is being done. The earth is resting and preparing for the next spring. Sadness is your internal winter. It is a biological signal telling you to retreat, to slow down, and to conserve energy. It is a time for hibernation so that you can heal, process, and eventually bloom again. Part 2. Why do we feel sad? Why did nature design us to feel this pain? It feels uncomfortable, So why do we have it? To honor what matters. The most beautiful truth about sadness is that it is the shadow of love. You cannot have one without the other. You only feel sad about losing something if you cared about it. If you did not love your friend, you would not be sad when they moved away. If you did not care about your dreams, you would not be sad when they failed. Therefore, sadness is a sign of value. It is your heart's way of saying, "This mattered to me." It honors the thing you lost. To take away the sadness would be to take away the importance of what you loved. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche suggested, the pain is not an objection to life, but a part of life's great depth. To connect us to others. Humans are tribal creatures. We need each other to survive. Sadness has a powerful social function. It brings us together. When we see someone who is angry, our instinct is to step back or fight. Anger pushes people away. But when we see someone who is sad, shoulders down, tears in their eyes, moving slowly, our biological instinct is to move closer. We want to offer a hug, a gentle hand, or a kind word. Sadness is a distress signal. It says, "I am hurt. I need the tribe." It breaks down the walls of our ego and allows us to be held. It creates deep intimacy that happiness simply cannot create. To update our internal map. When we suffer a loss, a breakup, a failure, or a death, our brain knows we are in a vulnerable state. If we kept running around, pretending everything was fine, we would burn out. We would be easy targets for danger. Sadness acts like a circuit breaker. It lowers our physical energy and reduces our desire to seek new things. It forces us to sit still. This stillness gives our brain the massive amount of energy it needs to rewire itself. When you are sad, you are not lazy, you are doing heavy internal lifting. It is the transition period between who you were and who you are becoming. Part 3. The Many Faces of Sadness. Sadness is not a single note, it is a complex melody. It wears many masks, and recognizing them helps us understand ourselves better. Sometimes it is grief. This is the heaviest form of sadness, usually resulting from a death or a major ending. Grief comes in waves. One moment you might be laughing, and the next you are knocked down by a wave of tears. This is normal. Grief is not a process of getting over something. It is a process of learning to carry it. Sometimes it is disappointment. This is the sadness of the gap. It lives in the space between what you expected to happen and what actually happened. It teaches us about our expectations and helps us accept reality. Sometimes it is nostalgia. This is a bittersweet sadness. It is the pain of looking at the past and knowing you can never go back, mixed with the joy of having experienced it. The word comes from Greek roots meaning homecoming and pain. It is the ache for a home in time that no longer exists. And sometimes, it is a nameless feeling the Germans call Weltschmerz. This is a German concept meaning world pain. It is a noble form of sadness. It happens when you look at the news at poverty, war, or nature being destroyed, and you feel a deep ache in your chest. This is not personal sadness, it is collective sadness. It shows that your empathy is alive. It means you are connected to the whole of humanity. Part 4. The Physicality of Sadness. We often think feelings happen in our heads, but sadness is a deeply physical experience. You might feel a lump in your throat. This is a real physical reaction. The muscles in the throat tighten to prevent crying, while the breath tries to push through. You might feel a heavy weight on your chest, making it hard to breathe deep. You might feel extreme fatigue, where your limbs feel like lead. The biggest mistake we make is suppression. Imagine you try to hold a beach ball underwater. You have to use all your strength to keep it down. If you get tired and let go, it pops up with great force, splashing water everywhere. Sadness is like that beach ball. If you push it down, it will eventually explode as anger, anxiety, or physical sickness. You must let it float. The healing power of tears. One of the most important physical aspects of sadness is crying. For years society, especially for men, has said that crying is weak. Science tells us the opposite. Biochemists have analyzed tears. There are 3 types of tears. Reflex tears, when you get dust in your eye, mostly water. Basal tears, to keep your eyes wet, mostly water. Emotional tears, these are different. They contain higher levels of stress hormones, cortisol, and natural painkillers, leucine and kephalin. This means that when you cry from sadness, you are literally flushing stress chemicals out of your body. It is a detox. This is why, after a good long cry, you often feel a sense of calm or lightness. The storm has broken. To stop yourself from crying is to keep the toxins inside. Never apologize for crying. It is your body cleaning itself. Part 5. How to process and express sadness. If we accept that sadness is necessary, how do we handle it? How do we stop it from turning into depression? Stop fighting the water. There is an old story about a woman who dropped a precious jewel into a river. She was frantic. She jumped in and splashed around, kicking up mud and sand, trying to find it. The more she panicked, the cloudier the water became. She could see nothing. Finally, exhausted, she climbed out and sat on the grass, weeping. She gave up. She sat there for a long time, just breathing, letting her tears fall. Slowly, because she stopped moving, the mud settled. The dirt sank to the bottom. The water became clear again. And there, shining at her feet, was the jewel. We often treat sadness like that woman. We panic. We try to fix it or distract ourselves with phones, food, or noise. We stir up the mud. To process sadness, you must stop splashing. You must sit with it. You must give it time to settle. Name it to tame it. Sadness can feel like a big, dark fog. To navigate it, you need to be specific. We can make it manageable by naming it. Take a piece of paper and write. I am feeling sad because I feel lonely and want connection. I am afraid I am not good enough. I miss my old life. When you name the specific cause, the emotion becomes smaller. It becomes a thing that you are observing, rather than a fog that is consuming you. When you give the feeling a name, you separate yourself from it. You realize that you are the observer of the sadness, not the sadness itself. Creative release. In the past we had rituals for sadness. We wore black clothes for a year. We sang mourning songs together. We sat in circles. Today, we grieve alone in our bedrooms. We need to create our own rituals. Light a candle for what you lost. Write a letter to the person or the opportunity you miss, and then burn it or bury it. Or use the energy for creation. Sadness gives us depth. Many of the world's greatest songs, paintings, and poems were written in tears. Sadness allows us to access a deep part of our soul that happiness cannot reach. Draw your feelings. Play music. Let the energy move from inside to outside. Part 6. Learning from the shadow. If we are brave enough to sit in the room of sadness, what gifts do we find there? What is the outcome? It teaches us humility. Sadness reminds us that we are human. It reminds us that we are not gods who can control everything. We cannot control the weather, the time, or other people. We are small. This sounds depressing, but it is actually liberating. This humility takes the weight of the world off our shoulders. It helps us let go of the need to be perfect. We realize that we are just small parts of a big, mysterious universe. It teaches us compassion. Have you ever met someone who has never suffered? They can be charming, but they often lack depth. They might judge others for being weak. But once you have sat in the dark room of sadness, you never judge someone else's pain again. You understand. Your heart becomes softer. When you see a stranger crying on the bus, you don't look away in disgust, you look at them with love. Your heart stretches. Sadness breaks your heart, yes, but it breaks it open so that more love can fit inside. It clarifies what we want. Sadness acts like a compass. It points directly to what is wrong in your life. If you are sad every Sunday night, your sadness is telling you that your job is not right for you. If you are sad after hanging out with a certain group of friends, your sadness is telling you that you need new companions. Listen to the sadness. It is trying to guide you toward a life that fits you better. Part 7. The Art of Kintsugi, the Beauty of Scars. To conclude our look at sadness, we can look to the beautiful Japanese philosophy of Kintsugi. When a valuable ceramic bowl breaks in Japan, the masters do not throw it away. They do not try to hide the cracks with invisible glue to make it look new again. Instead, they repair the cracks with a special lacquer mixed with gold dust. They highlight the cracks. The repaired bowl now has veins of gold running through it. It is considered more beautiful and more valuable than it was before it was broken. Why? Because it has a history. It has survived. You are that bowl. Life will drop you. You will break. You will feel the sharp pain of sadness. But you will not stay broken. You will put yourself back together. And the wisdom you learn, the empathy you gain, and the strength you build are the gold that fills your cracks. Conclusion. Embracing the whole house. Do not be afraid of the sadness. Do not lock the door to that room. The mountain of joy is only high because the valley of sadness is deep. They belong together. You cannot have the peaks without the valleys. A flat line on a heart monitor means death, the ups and downs mean life. So the next time the gray clouds come, and the rain starts to fall in your soul, do not open an umbrella. Step out into the rain. Let it wash you. Feel the heavy, beautiful reality of being human. Say to yourself, I am sad. I am healing. I am deepening. I am alive. Trust the seasons. The winter always passes. And when the spring comes, and it will come, the flowers will be brighter, the air will be sweeter, and you will be ready to welcome the sun.